So guess what? Today I am back with another video that never in a million years did I think that I would be making a video about this topic. I have made the decision to use a GLP-1 medication. I knew that without having medical insurance that a name brand one was not going to be something that I could financially afford because they're very expensive. So I ended up making the decision to go with a compounded semaglutide. It's way less expensive, although it is still expensive. But anyways, this was not a decision that I made lightly. It was not a decision that was made quickly. It took research. And during that time, not only was I researching and reading about, the medications, I also had a couple different conversations with my naturopath doctor, as well as some friends that are on, these types of medications. So this was definitely just as difficult, if not more difficult, than just coming to the decision that I wanted to lose weight. The main reason that I made this decision to go with a GLP-1 medication is because in all the research that I did and in the conversations that I've had with people that have used this medication, they all talked about how it just quieted the food noise. Now, there are people out there that do not think that food noise is a real thing. They think that people are just using that as an excuse. For me personally, food noise is a very real thing. When I say that food noise controlled my life, I'm not exaggerating. I would wake up in the morning thinking about food. I'd eat breakfast thinking about food. I would eat lunch thinking about food. I would eat dinner thinking about food. I would snack throughout the day thinking about food, about what I could eat next. There were times that I would wake up in the middle of the night thinking about food. And several times I had this conversation when I started seeing my naturopath about if I could just quiet that food noise, if I could just get a grip on the food noise, I feel like I could just breathe and, I don't know, like get a grip on things. So that was definitely the deciding factor for making this decision. And whether or not somebody agrees with, people using GLP-1 medications, as horrible as it sounds, what other people think does not matter. This is about me, my body, my life, my decision. So I guess basically just what I was trying to say with that thought was that, as humans, we can believe things for years and years and years, and then we're allowed to change our minds. So even though I've changed my mind about my personal stance about being anti-weight loss, I changed my mind because of everything going on. Excuse me. And now that I'm 50, just knowing that with as negatively as my quality of life was being impacted, I knew that it was time to, kind of change my mind, change my beliefs, and to just lean into what was the best decision for me and my body and my journey. I'm still body positive. I still believe the things that I believe. So even though I, believe body positivity and about, plus size people don't have to diet and lose weight to try to shrink in to fit, societal norms and things like that, I can believe that. And like two things can be true. So while I believe all that, in the other hand, I also believe that for me personally, while I believe this can also be true. And it was really hard to kind of get my head and my heart to mesh, if that makes any sense. because I have always been the person that I've never wanted to do anything in my community that would hurt somebody. And, in the prior video, I had shared about I've seen other body positive influencers make the decision to lose weight, and some people in their community came out and attacked them, saying that, to go from being body positive and believing that you don't have to lose weight to all of a sudden making the decision to lose weight, that they were harming their community. So that was one of my concerns when I made that first video. And then this was also another concern when I made the decision to create this video. And I also had to remind myself that we're all adults. So while somebody may have been in the place that you're in, so for example, me and being anti-weight loss and, anti-diet culture, things like that. So for me taking that stance, maybe you have found me a safe space. And then for me to all of a sudden go to, being about weight loss, and I'm choosing weight loss and a GLP-1 medication, like maybe that doesn't feel like a safe space anymore for you. And I get that, but what I don't understand is, as adults, if somebody's message or somebody's journey is no longer resonating with us, walk away. In my head, it's not that difficult. So I was just concerned about my community because I care about you. And I've just also had to remind myself that we are all on different journeys, and we all have body autonomy, get to choose what we think is best for ourselves and our bodies. So as Tish usual, I've rambled, and the basic main points that I wanted to, leave in this video was the number one reason that I chose a GLP-1 medication is because I needed help quieting the food noise. Now, of course, I did not know whether or not that would really be my experience, and I have a video coming up that I'm going to share my first week on my GLP-1 medication with you and just share how that went, because there were lots of good days and there were a few not so good days. So I'm behind on making videos, but the next video will be that, first week on my GLP-1. I'm now on my third week. I took my third shot yesterday on Monday. So yeah, I have lots to share. So I hope you will keep coming back for more videos. See you next time.